Good morning, this is Rebecca from Grove Knits and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, thank you very much for just taking the time and seeing what I do here. This is a podcast that I put out roughly weekly at the moment, and it's just about simply what I'm knitting on, but not just knitting, other crafty type of stuff as well. At the moment we're in a different location. I'm just happen to be in my study and I'm about to head out, which is why I thought that I would stop and record at the moment just before I head out. So there may end up being a slight costume change partway through this, just depending on when I have to duck out and then when I get to finish recording. But for now, I thought I would start with, we'll have a bit of a recap on what's been going on this week, what I've been knitting on. I do have a couple of cast-ons, and so we'll go from there. So today's episode will be quite short because there's only, I think, 3 main things I've been knitting on, and I'll show you those now. So let's look at what I've been knitting on. Now last week I showed you my Find Your Fade shawl. Just let me show it. I had hoped to have this finished because I'm actually off to Tasmania on Monday just for a week. We go into school break after today, so we're heading off to Tasmania on Monday, and I wanted to actually be able to wear this. Just let me untangle it from the yarn because it's got the yarn wrapped around the tail. Alright, so this is knitting that soft Donegal that I have. You can see here we start off with this natural colour and it expands out. We then go into the colourway Goldilocks. You can see there's some beautiful flecks in there. And then we go into the colourway Firefly, and there's also flecks through that one as well. So I have this much left. What I have done is weighed the skein prior to a full garter row, so going across and then coming back, and that gets me roughly 2 grams at this size that I'm at the moment. So it's roughly 2 grams to get across all this as a full, all the way across and all the way back again. So I'm keeping an eye on that so I know when to actually get ready to cast off. Obviously I've got still a fair bit left there, so I should get at least another 4 perhaps sections in before I have to cast off. So my hope is to spend this weekend finishing this off, because I actually want to get this washed and blocked and then be able to take it to Tasmania with me, because I'm really loving, it smells very woolly at the moment, these natural colours with this. So I can't put this on properly at the moment. I've got another shawl on that I'm wearing, so I'm really loving these natural colours. So hopefully I get this finished this weekend, although if I don't, perhaps it'll be plain knitting. Now just because I happen to mention this shawl, this is the Bricks shawl by Stephen West. I'll put the proper name along the bottom. What I love about this one, just let me stand up, is I can actually wear it, so I don't have it fixed up properly, where you tie it in the back. So I tie a knot in the back. So I bring it across, cross it over, tighten the back, and actually wear it almost like a jumper. So I particularly like this particular shawl for that purpose. And one of the reasons at the moment I'm casting on a few Stephen West shawls is I actually want to get a few more shawls that I can wear like this. So this would have to be one of my favourites. It's in a beautiful superfine merino from Skein Sisters in Sydney, and it's just gorgeous. So on Stephen West, I mentioned in my last podcast that I was going to cast on another shawl. Well, let me tell you, I ended up casting on 2 things. So the first of the cast-ons, I used this green yarn here, which is this one here. So I've got 3 balls of this, and I cast on Stephen West's Garter, what is it? Garter Goodness. I cast on the Garter Goodness. So I'll pop this across here by Stephen West. So I haven't done that much with it, but this is what I have got. So these colours are coming out really pretty. Just straight garter with some yarn overs for that decoration through it. So this will be beautiful, and this yarn is incredibly soft. So this is that New Zealand merino that I picked up on one holiday one time. It's holiday yarn. And then, because who can ever have enough Stephen West, I cast on yet another cardigan. and this is the Garter Marler Cardigan. And so what you're doing here is you're holding 2 strands of fingering or 4-ply and marling them through. So this is the top. I've just done, I think, the 3rd increase, and this is 100% out of my scrap yarn. So I'm just using this as a stash buster. It's really nice and thick and soft. I have a little bit of possum in here. I've got alpaca blended in as well. So as an outerwear I can actually use everything. So yeah, so the Garter Marler Cardigan. So that's my right side. That's the wrong side. You'll see my little ends. I weave in as I go. But this is actually knitting up incredibly quickly. I only cast this on last night. And I typically do most of my nighttime knitting in bed. And I use one of those neck lights so that I don't disturb my husband too much. But that's where I typically will use a wooden needle if I know I'm going to be knitting at night in bed, because they clickety-clack less, apparently. I don't notice the sound, but apparently my husband notices the sound all of the time. So yeah, so the wooden ones clickety-clack less, and he finds those less annoying when he's trying to sleep. So this was just cast on last night, and I'm actually quite pleased with how it's coming up. I like a nice mild cardigan. It's actually it's heavier than I thought it was going to be. So this, a bit like that Jones cardigan that I've got on the needles with all the cabling, I suspect that this will actually be particularly warm. My plan, you'll notice I've done one lighter stripe in here. I'm only going to occasionally put in a really light stripe with double yarns. My plan is to keep it blues, greys and browns as the main tone through it, and then just have the occasional stripe with a lighter pop, and just have those lighter colours as the second strand held with either the blues, the greys or the browns, just to give it that moody look overall. So that's what I've been knitting on at the moment. I am obviously still awaiting, I am still awaiting my yarn to come for the make-along for Stephen West, to the Twists and Turns make-along, but I will let you know when that comes. Luckily this morning there's actually some really good natural light, which is fantastic, because ordinarily I'm recording it after work and in later hours when I don't have access to the natural light that I have this morning. Okay, so I'm back now, and just before I finish up this video, I'm just going to update you on a little smidgy bit of a yarn haul, which I had no right doing, but I'm not going to guilt myself about it, because hell, why not? We can only ever do this occasionally, although I seem to do it all the time. I bought a nice fade set. Now, it's obviously not actually a fade set. I'm going to fade it. My intent is probably a shawl, or I've got more than enough here for a sweater, but this is how I'm planning on going. Now the white is blowing out. The white's actually cream. If I hold it down here, nope, I'm going to put it there. The light's probably a bit better for it, just about there. Alright, now, just the white's blowing out because of the sunlight behind me. So, I bought a 4-ply luxury cream. So this is Bendigo Woollen Mills. It's 100% wool, as you can see, and this is a 200 gram ball, which is 720 meters. So 720 meters of the cream. Then I have luxury stone. Oops, how do I stop that blowing out? There we go, luxury stone. Another 200 gram ball, 720 meters of luxury koala. There we go. And the dark brown is luxury truffle, and again 720 grams. I'll just write the names of them, but you can see that colour there. So this is the fade set, and I'll see if it's going to be a shawl or a jumper later. I then, because why not, bought this ball. You may be able to see that it's like browns and pinks. It's called Fairy Floss. It is 8 ply, so DK. No, it's not called Fairy Floss at all. I lied. It's called Angel Wings. 8 ply, 100% wool, called Angel Wings. There you go. You can see the colour quite well there. You just can't quite see the wording very well. I just thought that'd make a nice kids jumper. And then on the kids jumper, again, more 100% wool. This is called Blue Twist. And it's just simply a straight twist, blue and cream together. So as DK weight balls, 200 grams, there's about 400 meters in each of these balls. So I picked up those today. I just can't be helped. I need an intervention, I think. Thank you very much. Have a brilliant morning, and I will likely talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.